Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to see you again. Here we are in our lovely tavern, and I'm here with who else but Lee. Hello, Lee.
It's me. Hello, everyone. We're in a tavern.
We're in a tavern. Do you have a beverage?
I've got a juice. Should I get a real one?
I mean, I have
Not that
soda
no,
water,
I'd be
so
drinking alone. Effectively, I'd be drinking alone in my bedroom, and that's probably not a look that I'm going for. So
probably
I'll stay
not.
with my juice. I'll
We
stay
both
with my
we
juice.
would both be drinking alone, wouldn't we?
Mm. Hmm.
Although you'd be drinking extra alone because I don't drink.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Hmm. Conundrums. Conundrums. Well, we're back here. I can't remember what number this is. I think it might be 26.
Do I come around every 13 episodes?
Apparently.
If
Apparently
if
it
this
is.
isn't if this isn't 26, then Matt has made a major balls up because I think I should be here every 13 episodes. So if it's not 26, Matt, leave it. If we've gone past 26, then guys, I'll see you at number 39.
Confirmed. It is number 26.
There we are.
Yes. Yeah. So every 13. Every
Yeah,
13
yeah,
you pop up from
yeah.
now
I can
on.
come in. I can come in on other ones, but I'm taking the factors of 13 as mine.
The 13 slot is yours. Yeah.
Unlucky for some, i.e., everyone who didn't ask for it, suckers.
Yeah. Well, I thought we'd pop on because things have a few things have altered around a little bit. And there's a topic that is still in the not in the news,
The zeitgeist.
in the zeitgeist. That's it. And it kind of won't go away. Um, but I guess the big news first, the bigger personal news is that I've moved to Kyrgyzstan, as you're well aware.
He's in the bloody Komi Mountains, ladies and gentlemen, bodies of water.
It's true. Komi Mountains. Yep.
And you went to a body of water that time that looked like a sea.
Yes. Yeah. It's a cool. Yeah. Bigger than some countries. Bigger than I can't
Monaco.
remember. Definitely big. Bigger than Vatican City. No,
It's bigger than Croydon.
is it? Is it bigger than Slough? Quite possibly. I'm not entirely sure. Is
I
Slough
reckon
visible
it's
from
bigger than
space?
Shao. Probably not.
Probably not. It's definitely
I,
bigger than
I, I I
Slough.
actually went over to my map, and as you can see that Kyrgyzstan's on the map because it's part of the Earth, and there is a bit that looks like a lake, but also I don't think that was very expensive, so I don't know how good like how precise the printers like to be with the map.
Mm,
You know,
yeah. Brunei was the country I was thinking of. It is bigger than Brunei.
okay,
And
just
Kyrgyzstan's bloody huge. I didn't realize how big it was. It is absolutely
looking at my
massive.
map now, I did have to second guess myself. I was like, is that Kyrgyzstan or is that not? Basically, everyone, geography lesson. I don't know why it's coming from me. I'm basically mansplaining to Matt. I'm geography splaining. Now
I was
it's
in your geography class. I know how bad we both are at geography.
oh, I wasn't allowed to do it, was I anymore? I wasn't allowed to do any humanities
You were
at
banned from
GCSE. I was
humanities. Yeah.
banned. I was banned from them. And then I sucked it right back to them and did 2 degrees in humanities. See ya, punks. Not geography though.
Definitely not geography. But what was your
Oh,
geography lesson for me?
that it so Kyrgyzstan, well, not for you, for the ladies and gentlemen, bodies of water who are watching. You know where
Mhm.
you are, man. So hang on, I just got to take the robot penis with me. So Kyrgyzstan is northwest of China, connected right to one of the ears, as I like to call
Mhm.
it, of the China reindeer. It looks like a reindeer. And
Mhm.
oh no, yeah. So there's two. Is there two lakes in Kyrgyzstan? Because I've seen the other lake now as well, and I'm thinking that's definitely the lake that you went to.
Yeah, there's the one massive one. I think there's
Mhm.
another even bigger one in something like Kazakhstan.
Oh, that's the bomb lake, isn't it?
I think it might be the Bomb Lake.
And they think it, and people like the local people believe it's magic,
It's
grants you with
people.
magic powers.
People go in it and they come out with three legs.
Yes, tis a miracle. I don't know why they're why they're like feudal British serfs, but they are in this timeline.
the,
Tis a
le-
miracle. It
the
is
legends do tell of the lake of three legs.
the three-legged lake they call it. I almost went Welsh there. Three-legged lake.
Gwyneth, the three-legged lake.
Gwyneth is at it again.
Oh, well, there is. I don't know if it's nearby, but there is a disused uranium mine somewhere nearby, which is still
Exciting.
radioactive. And there's
Good for
a town.
some urban exploring.
Yeah, well, there's a town around it that is mostly abandoned. It was a town of
And
like 30,000, and now there's maybe 2,000 people living there.
effectively the best place for a horror story in Kyrgyzstan.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean
That's
that
it,
place,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
That place for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. It would be a rip-off of Shadow over Innsmouth, but it would still be a great place for a horror story.
And just like change the fish to something else.
Glowing fishmen.
Yeah. Glowing possums. Rats.
Yeah. Glowing rats. There
Radioactive
we
rats.
go.
Yeah.
Glowing mole rats. There we go.
There we are.
Let's
We've got it.
bring in the fallout.
No
Legendary
one
glowing
steal
mole
our
rats.
idea.
No one
This is
steal our idea that we've stolen from Lovecraft. Yeah, we've got to think up some racial slurs as well that can go in there.
Oh, he does goodies, doesn't he? Not good
It's
that like racial slurs are good, but sort of just bonkers. And you're like, wow,
yeah, even
oh, how the times have changed.
yeah, it's amazing. It's a testament to his writing that even his racial slurs are well written.
Yeah, they're quite eloquent, in
Yeah,
his derogation.
yeah. Wow, there's alliteration here. That's amazing. Yeah.
It's very poetic.
Oh, I think the safest one is the one that I shared with you and
Mhm.
Carl, which
Yep.
is it's because it's lovely in it's Blackfellows, which is lovely in twee.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
most twee thing. Oh, it's
Just
wonderful.
almost flies under the radar.
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
Almost.
it's riding the
Almost.
line. It's like takes a little
Yeah.
curtsy over the
Beep,
line.
beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, but he's yeah. I'm still going with Lovecraft, reading a bit of Mountains of Madness.
I don't really know the stories, Matt, if I'm honest. I'm a
Ah,
not a Luddite. Yeah. Someone who ain't cultured. That
whatever that
word.
is. I don't know that word. Well, if you've seen The Thing,
Mhm.
so far it's very similar to The Thing. I have a
Did
feeling
they
that this came
did
out
they
and
steal
then
the idea as well?
I think they might have. Yeah, it was influenced, I suppose,
Yeah.
by At the Mountains of Madness. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know why coming to Kyrgyzstan has made me read a lot more horror. It just has.
I mean, from the outside, Matt, you were descending into the realms of madness in literary form, not in real form.
Hmm.
A little bit before you went.
True. Yeah. True.
It's always been sprinkled throughout your work.
Yeah.
When we did one of the RPG ones where we had our Halloween off.
Oh
Did we
yeah,
did we do that at Halloween?
we did. Yeah, we did a
Oh my
Halloween episode.
goodness. That was a year ago that we did that. Still
Hmm.
fresh in my mind.
Halloween 22.
Goodness me.
That was great fun as well.
Oh,
That
that
was a
was a good
really
one.
fun one.
That was a goodie.
Hmm.
Cutting a
Oh
ghost in half. Classic.
yeah. of course, cutting the ghost in half.
Got to be
Lovecraftian
bisecting.
beings, zombies, of course, as
And
is
that was
tradition.
the Lovecraftian being was delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, delicious and icory.
Mm.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned that I mentioned all the rubble, but
Yes.
I still have no idea what that was all about. They're just remodeling stuff. All the
Yeah.
like roads that were roads, normal roads the day before, suddenly they just become dug up mounds of dirt out of nowhere. I'm like, when did you do this? Why have you done this? And where do I walk now? In the road or on the very unsure footing? I have no idea.
The cosmic horrors don't care where you walk, man.
No, no.
Cosmic
I've
beings that come out at night and put a spell on everyone so they can't hear or feel the tremors beneath their feet. Do not care where you walk, man.
Yeah. Well, it was like waking up one day and then the streets just being rubble. That was weird.
I bet that was
Like
a bit unnerving.
it was a bit. Yeah, I thought there had been like an earthquake or something. All the shop fronts were like smashed in. Like there was a little shop that sold phones and stuff, and it was just completely just smashed in. Not even like the front of it was taken off, like in some of them.
Yeah,
The entire thing was just, it was like a grenade had gone off.
wild.
And I was like, why? What has happened here and why? How? And that, but no one seemed bothered in the slightest. It was just like normal. I think it's a
It's the
kaiju.
it's the cosmic horror beings. Eh?
Yeah, it's the kaiju in the mountains. It's fine.
They're friendly enough if you're not out past dark.
I mean, yeah, being out past dark. I don't know. I got a warning when I was hit. Well, it's actually in the contract.
Uh-huh.
It's like, if you're out at night and you get into a scrap and you get hurt, we're not liable. I'm like,
Okay.
sorry, what? Does that happen often?
That is a bit wild, isn't it? I don't think I've ever read that in another employment contract. If you
Yeah.
get fucked up by someone, it's not our fault.
Yeah. You
But
probably
you
get them.
telling me it's not your fault leads me to believe it might be. Why
If
why
you,
are you absolving yourself of guilt on a very specific thing?
yeah, if you misplace a kidney, we're not liable to replace the kidney.
I mean, I implicitly knew that, but now I'm curious.
Yeah, why do you have to say it? You having to say it is very strange. Yeah, it doesn't seem that dangerous.
Hmm.
People seem like just sort of normal.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if so I have, ladies, gentlemen, and other such. A um I have a Substack going where I write about my travels in Kyrgyzstan. Have you read
Hmm.
the latest one, Lee?
I don't believe I've read the latest one.
So the latest one concerns Independence Day, and it concerns some issues of some concern regarding revolutions that have happened in this place
Okay.
in the last um, in the last, let's say, 2 decades. How
Uh-huh.
many do you think there have been? Like full on overthrow the government revolutions?
My my answer is different before you asked me that question. I would
Uh-huh,
have,
okay.
So now I think there's quite a few. I wouldn't have. You don't expect many revolutions in the last 20 years, do you? You know,
No, no.
like 80s, like back from the 80s. I mean, we've both we've both frequented Hungary, where basically as soon as you get into autumn and winter, you don't bother going out on any Mondays because you ain't getting anywhere. Nothing's going on. There were always revoluting, revolting. Sorry, and getting shot down a lot of the time. I'm going to go with three then. Three.
Bang on, three.
Goodness me, in the last 20 years.
2005, 2010.
Uh-huh.
These are the two that I knew about, right? because
Okay.
I didn't know about it before I came here. Probably should have researched this somewhat, but I I because it was Independence Day, and I was like, okay. And then I think I was in class. I was like, independence from what exactly?
Yeah.
Like, and it was independence from the Soviet Union.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's a bank
That's awfully
holiday,
late, isn't
surely.
it?
Well, it was, I think it was 19. So independence from the Soviet Union was 91. These are all post-Soviet.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
So I thought, okay. And then I think I was in class and I was trying to explain to somebody like a public holiday was.
Hmm.
And I was like, like Independence Day, like 31st of August.
Hmm.
And they were like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's see if I can find another example. And I looked and they had a few.
Hmm.
And there was like one about the April Revolution, like the
Okay.
People's April Revolution. And I was like, that's not the Lenin one, is it? Because that's a bit, I hope they're not, because they've broken from the Soviet Union. I hope they're not still
Yeah.
celebrating that, because that'd be a bit icky. And I
Yeah.
checked, and it was like, oh no, that was in 2010. It's like, oh, okay, 2010. All right. And it was like a revolution overthrowing the people that revolted in 2005,
Right.
because there was a totally not US funded revolution in 2005.
So there was a coup.
There was a coup, yes. And
Let's call it how it is. There was a coup in 20
yeah,
in 2005,
there was
and
a
then
coup d'etat in 2005.
and
And
then
then
and then the
in
people
2010,
revolted against the coup.
yes, exactly. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to write a Substack about this. This is fascinating.
Mhm.
And I started writing about it. And I tried to find some images for it. And I was like, okay, let's see, there's some pictures of this revolution. So I typed in Google Kyrgyz Revolution 2000 and it auto-filled 20. And I was like,
What?
20? Clicked on it. They had another one in 2020.
In the midst of the global pandemic?
Yes.
Goodness.
Right. So, and it just,
Who has heard about this? Two people, Matt and Lee, have heard about this, and now you, dear viewer, have heard about this as well.
well, this is the whole thing. Like I wrote on Substack because it kind of made me mad as I was
Yeah.
writing about it. I was like, they they America has interfered with this place at least once, maybe
Mhm.
twice, because it's right in the middle of China, Russia, and India, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, nowadays that's three BRICS nations
Mhm.
in this new kind of block of powers that have kind of come up. And
The ones that are like, screw you, Western world.
basically, yeah,
Because yeah,
basically,
it's Brazil, Russia, India. A is
is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South
C,
Africa.
China and South Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're looking at bringing Argentina into it, and someone else. I think maybe
Right.
I don't know who else, but yeah, and I was just like, okay, it's in between these three nations. America's interfered with it in
Hmm.
at least in 2005.
Hmm.
In 2010, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. In 2020, they almost certainly didn't, right? But it's like it's this country on the other side of the world. No one can even point to it on a map, right? Barely anyone can point to it on a map.
No.
Like, what do you think the percentage of people in the UK is that can point to Kyrgyzstan on the map and go, it's right there?
3%.
3%.
Yeah.
I would venture probably less. I think it might
Yeah.
be it's in the
That's very
fractions of a percent.
that's very, very liberal on my part.
I mean, it could be three. I mean, I don't know, but maybe more people paid attention in geography than you and me.
Hmm.
But it made me go like, there's just no the fact that they just did that,
Hmm.
like to get likely to get access to the airbase here,
Hmm.
which is right by the airport near Bishkek,
Right. Hmm.
now disused. So
Yeah.
for now, but it was just like Jesus, like it's no one even noticed, like in the
Yeah.
UK. No one paid any attention.
Yeah.
Like I had a student in a class when I was in the UK from Armenia,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in class once and we were talking about people we didn't like famous people we didn't like, and she went, George Biden. I was like, Joe, oh, you mean Joe? Why don't you like Joe? It's like, because for many years, Armenia and Azerbaijan have been in a war,
Right.
and he doesn't like he doesn't care about it at all. He cares about all these other places. He doesn't care
Mm-hmm.
about us at all.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, yeah,
This
kind of,
obviously being in the midst of like the Ukraine war, where there is a lot of money going into it.
right. What, like
A
Ukraine
lot of
and
money.
yeah, well, I mean Ukraine, and I think this may have been pre-Ukraine. I mean, like
Okay.
I think it was like Afghanistan and things like that, and all the
Right.
stuff like America's engaging in wars in Africa, like all over Africa, and like
Hmm.
Yemen and Saudi Arabia, they're like funding Saudis, and I'm just like, I kind of saw it, and I was like, oh gosh, yeah, this is really annoying. Now, amusingly, this 2020 revolution they had. Give, I would like you to
Yes.
guess what brought on this revolution. Keep in mind the year 2020.
I'm sorry, go again.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Keep in
Oh,
mind the
lost you
year.
again.
You got me?
Yeah.
So keep
Yep.
in mind the year is 2020. It's an election in 2020.
And what is the question? Sorry.
Why do you think the Kyrgyz people revolted in 2020?
Oh, why did they revolt?
Yeah.
So it's an election year. Um, for democracy. I reckon that's the tagline.
um, sort of, kind of. What do you think the trigger point was for them revolting? I'm asking because there are some amusing parallels.
Okay. Are they overthrowing again? Are they overthrowing the people from the last time again?
No,
Okay.
so there was an election,
Right. Okay.
and this happened right after the election.
Oh, okay. So, okay. So, like vote tampering then.
They had an election, and the election was rigged, and they had a January 6th, and theirs worked. They overthrew the guy. They kicked the dude
Jesus.
out of office, and
Wow.
the other person got in,
They did a January 6th and actually made it work.
and
Goodness
theirs
me.
actually worked. Yeah,
Wow.
history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
When
had
I
no idea about this. Obviously, because the news cycle was very, very excited to tell us how many people died that day, every single
Yes,
day.
yes, definitely.
Remember,
Yes,
lots of people died today, so stay inside, don't come out.
yes, exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, it was just a hilarious little parallel. I was like,
Yeah,
wait, that's why?
that's bonkers,
Oh
isn't
my
it? That's
gosh.
so funny. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
funny, but it's so bonkers.
It is absolutely nuts. And again, similarly, I mean, the parallels to January 6th as well are crazy. Like the same sort of, so one person died, same both
Hmm.
ways.
Hmm.
A few were injured, like several hundred or maybe more. I think several thousand were injured,
Hmm.
but one worked and one didn't. And there was
Right.
yeah. And it's just
Yeah.
like, oh gosh, okay. Huh, interesting. Not that I'm saying anything about any elections in America because I don't know. I have no
No.
idea.
No. But
But the Kyrgyz
all
one,
I
though,
can
the
see from
Kyrgyz one,
outside, yeah,
I can
just
talk
from the
about that
outside, it
one.
just looks like it's all going bonkers. Like more and more bonkers by the month.
Mm. Oh yeah. What, here or?
Oh, in the States,
Oh yeah. Oh,
just,
definitely. Yeah.
just continually bonkers.
Yes, it's kicking up a bit. If you see, do you see if they were Russell Brand?
I
He's
did.
been he's been uh he's been accused of some stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it was only a matter of time before someone accused him of something, considering how
Uh,
much he fucked in the 2000s.
What this is, it's very, very strange. Like obviously we don't know what's happened. And things like that. This is armchair philosophy and commentary at the moment. But you would have thought that this would have all come out when a lot of it came out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When the Me Too movement was in full swing and there was a lot of momentum behind it. You know, I don't know
Mm,
what it's like to be a sexual assault victim. Okay, I don't know what it's like. I know some people who do, and they've sort of dealt with it in different ways and things like that. And there's times where it's people haven't really got a channel to go through in their sort of in their police system and things like that. Some people have been
mm,
treated very well. Sometimes it's been a he said she said kind of thing. Some people have
mm. Some
been put
people have
away. It
no
sounds like
some
yeah,
people have no recourse at all.
no, but it is weird that it's happened so much later after that.
Mm,
The way it's been reported has been a bit weird in the
mm,
papers. I haven't seen the dispatches that they did, but I heard it was sort of very thorough and very compelling in sort of how the stuff was sort of given out.
mm.
But I've seen a lot of places sort of already basically just saying he's done it, basically through the wording, like that these are victims and things like that.
Yep,
Um, they might be,
they might
they
well
might
be.
be,
They might well be.
yeah. But there needs to be the proper channels need to be gone through and things like that. I saw
Mm,
a sort of a commentary piece on it from someone who was sort of like, um, yeah, sort of why now? There was also sort of the things where he's sort of become a bit of an icon and sort of like alternative new media,
mm.
like that's his big
Yeah,
shtick now.
he's been
So
doing
there's
that.
always
Well,
that.
this is the thing. He's been doing that for a couple of years.
It's
I mean, he's been
I
doing that
think
since
I mean, the
since
Trues
the
came out in like
mid.
2018,
Yeah, yeah,
2017,
2017.
2018. Yeah. The Trues
Actually, it
was
was
out
before that. It was
then.
15, I think. It was
Yeah.
15
And
that
that's when
he started that.
he was really sort of going against government and things like that
Mm,
in the UK and things like, and sort of helping out. Like there was the women who were going to lose their homes and things like that. And he'd been doing
yeah.
it from then. I think maybe at the start of this year, I think he was on about 2 million subscribers and now he's on 6.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it's really blowing up in that way. He's really like dick deep in like just politics now and sort of
Mm.
edging into sort of conspiracy spaces and things like that, regardless if they're true or whatever.
He's
But so
hovering around that, yeah, hovering
yeah,
around it. He's
so
still
there's
sort of saying the same stuff though. He's still
it's
sort
never
of
changed, is it?
he's still like being very much against kind of large corporate power and big
Mm-hmm.
government power.
Mm.
Um, but I feel like yeah, it does feel very like directed almost.
Mm.
It's quite there is that whole feeling of why now
Yeah,
in particular.
yeah.
Um, and did you see the UK government um, basically put out an order to social media to kick him off or
Ah,
demonetize him?
okay.
So this the letter that was sent actually was published
Mm.
by Rumble, who
Okay.
they were sent this letter saying because YouTube have completely demonetized him. I
Yeah.
think his stuff has been removed from Netflix and some other streamers,
Okay.
and he's obviously getting quite big on Rumble now. And they sent
Yeah.
him a letter.
He streams every day, doesn't he, on Rumble?
I think so. Yeah, I think
I think
so.
he streams every day. Yeah.
And he was sent a letter by, well, the Rumble CEO
Mm.
was sent a letter by the UK government saying, we're concerned about Russell Brand's platform. We're concerned about his influence. We're concerned that he's going to use certain things to kind of, we're concerned that he's pushing conspiracy theories and things like that. And we're asking you, and it was worded quite mafia. It was quite a mafia thing. They basically were like, we would like you to demonetize him. We'd like you to remove his monetization. And as far as I'm aware, Rumble haven't.
Okay.
And it's very odd. It's very icky.
I'm just going to try and bring it up.
Because none of it seems proven. And obviously, none of it is as far as we're aware.
Yeah.
And it's early days yet. I mean, things could be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's have a look. So, dear Chris, this is from Dame Caroline Dinage, the chair of the Culture, Media and Support Committee.
Would you like to share your screen?
Okay. Yeah.
I can do that. All right. Go ahead and share your screen. Let's have a look. This might break my internet, but let's see anyway.
So this is from the Daily Mail. This is where I found this. So this is the letter that was sent to Chris, who I imagine is the is Rumble CEO. Dear Chris,
Chris Pavlovsky, I believe it is.
Okay.
Hang on, let's make us a little bit bigger. There we are.
Dear Chris, I am writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context of his being a content provider on Rumble with more than 1.4 million followers. The Culture, Media and Sport Committee is raising questions with the broadcasters and production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand to both examine the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. However, we are also looking at his use of social media, including on Rumble, where he issued his preemptive response to the accusations made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches. While we recognise that Rumble is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform. We would be grateful if you could...
hang on there a minute. Right?
Yeah.
So they're basically calling for him to be completely... They're calling for him to be... for his income to just be completely stopped.
Zilched. Yeah.
Before there is any... before there's any solid proof, before he's had a day in court, they're demanding that he have his income stripped. And this is not good. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
And again, like, this is early days. He could be found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But to do this like 2 days after these accusations have come out is really weird. It's very weird. So it's raising questions. And coming to that second paragraph, broadcasters and production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand. So there's a collusion here between the government and presumably Channel 4. And
Channel 4 and the BBC, because he works at the BBC as well.
To just basically chop his head off. And it's very strange. And what he does on social media, I mean, he has a big platform and a responsibility, I suppose. But it's nothing to do with the BBC. It's nothing to do with Channel 4. It's nothing to do with the UK government either.
So I think that second one, I think there's to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. So I think they're going back to broadcasters in that, because did you see the dispatches?
No.
So one of the things that came out of it was that he allegedly picked up a 16-year-old girl in a chauffeur-driven car that was given to him by the BBC to come and see him.
Mm.
So
Ooh.
effectively, that he's using company money to
Ah.
be, like a potential sexual predator. I think that's what that second paragraph is talking about. I imagine. I mean, it's all very vague,
Mm.
isn't it?
That's skeezy.
But to talk about both the culture of the industry, yeah,
Mhm. I mean, yeah, it
because
is
that
very
really just
skeezy.
seems like an aside, really. Like Rumble and and broadcasters and production companies that worked with him in the past, and I don't think that means anything to Rumble, really.
Yeah.
The culture of the industry in the past. Why is Rumble going to care what Channel 4 was like in whenever?
Well, this seems to be just looking at the fourth paragraph there.
Mm-hmm.
It is not an outright. It's definitely pressure on Rumble. There's definitely kind of social pressure and corporate
Absolutely.
pressure being exerted on Rumble there. We would be grateful. Hang on. We would be
Mm.
grateful if you could confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content, including his videos related to the serious accusations against him. If so, we would like to know whether Rumble intends to join YouTube in suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. In other words, well,
Do as we say. And
we don't need to say
what
because
happens if they say no? Yeah. What
well, they
happens
have
if they
said no.
don't? If they say no?
They
But
have
then
said
like
no.
what? Like what's Dame Caroline Dynage's recourse at that point? What happens then? What's she gonna do then?
Nothing. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's nothing she can do, but I think there'll probably be a concerted effort. I mean, this is
Hmm.
going to add to the already concerted effort to discredit and maybe try and get Rumble
Hmm.
taken out, as happened with Parler.
Yeah.
Um, and we would also like to know what Rumble is doing to ensure that creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims. Victims? Well, we haven't established that yet, of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. We've not established any illegality.
No.
There's accusations of illegality, but there's no establishment of
Or
it.
even inappropriate.
I mean, appropriateness is somewhat subjective.
Is very subjective.
Like it's legal for him to pick up a 16-year-old girl in the
Hmm.
UK. 16 is the age of
Hmm.
consent. Is it
Yeah.
appropriate when he is? I don't know how old he would have been there, but I doubt he was 16. He would have
No.
probably been, probably in his mid to late 20s at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it appropriate to do that? Is it appropriate to do it on your work budget,
On the company dollar.
on the company dollar? No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, this is a this is very this is it's of concern. It's of concern
Mm.
that my government is doing stuff like this, Lee.
Mm.
Is of grave
Yeah.
concern.
There is a different sort of underlying message going through this. I mean, I'm sure this is not the first time it isn't the first time that someone has been, you know, judged before even going to court and having their lives ruined and things like that. Not that it's a common occurrence that happens, but it wouldn't be the first time that it's happened. I guess this now really brings it to the fore of how the court of public opinion works and how quick it is to make up its mind. Either way, as well.
Mm.
So he did a short video. I think the day that it came out, the day after, 3 minutes, sort of just obviously refuting all of the allegations made against him. All of the comments had already judged him completely innocent and just be, like smear campaign, like they're coming for you, everything like that. These people who have commented on there, because we're not all just going around commenting on videos all the time, you know. I think when you're commenting on a video, you know, you're deeper in that community and that world of that creator than someone who's just, you know, passively watching it. But these people have made up their minds as well. And there will be people 100% who have made up their minds the other way, that he is guilty no matter what happens in court as well.
Right. Yeah. If we bring it back to us, I think this is sort of the perfect segue really into what I kind of wanted to talk about, which was the parasocial relationship between Russell Brand and his audience, and between.
And I just went, "What? OnlyFans?"
Yeah. and between like the anti-brand people and their sort of sources of information. And we brought up like we brought up COVID a little bit. I think COVID pushed this a little bit further because online spaces were where a lot of people congregated.
Yeah,
and they replaced a
lot of people had their relationships
Hmm.
for a good long while. Yeah.
Yeah. And like YouTube in many ways, particularly over the last sort of decade, has slowly started to replace TV. So people are a lot more connected to YouTubers than they are to real people. I mean, people obviously, even with like TV, people have parasocial relationships to a degree with people on TV, but it's not as acute, I think, as it is on YouTube or on Rumble.
There's like there's sort of like a created sense of familiarity and proximity with someone, isn't there, through the sheer amount that we get to see these people.
Yeah,
a lot of, you know, die hard fans of whoever, when it comes to anything on social media, the amount of times they will see that person in a day will be way more than they would, you know, see, you know, family members and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that this proximity and access to someone who isn't actually talking to you, but you are a passive conduit to something that resembles a conversation, I guess.
Well, you can also, I mean, there's also the active element of being able to comment and being able to kind of maybe direct the flow somewhat through. I mean, you can also like you can tweet them and you can do things like that. You can use all kinds of social media to do that. And I think it's this sort of veneer of authenticity that people have on YouTube. And in some cases it's actual authenticity, in some cases it's not. It is the veneer. It is, oh, I'm just a normal person, when you're not just a normal person. You're making a lot of money. You have an undue, I mean, well, maybe a due influence. Maybe what people are making is like worthy of the influence they'd be getting. But it's,
I think live streaming makes it very different as well, because there is that, but there's that potential interaction. It depends, because I've seen different creators doing sort of different ways and things like that. But you know, if it's a smaller kind of creator, so I've been binging like Starfield Let's Plays at the moment. I haven't got anything to fucking run it, but I want another space game in my life. I'm pretty sure nothing is going to surprise me in that game now. Unfortunately, I've gorged myself on it. I've seen it through four different creators on YouTube. So one guy, it's called the Spiffing Brit, British obviously, but he does a lot of exploit videos and things like that, both on video games and in the real world. And on YouTube, he does quite a bit on YouTube. So he's at about 2 million subscribers, and anyone can go into the chat, but normally it's only going to, for pretty much everyone, it's the super chats that can be read out. So
Yeah.
where you have paid to have this message sent to this person.
Hmm.
Another one that I watched was one of the biggest sort of game streamers in the world, Dr. Disrespect. You can't
Yep.
even go in his chat without being a channel member. You can't
Jesus.
even access, you can't even type in the live chat without
Mm.
being a channel member, which I think is like $5 a month.
Otherwise, I guess it would just be like, brrrr,
Yeah,
or you would
absolutely.
get people in there trying to say stuff.
Yeah. Then there
Yeah.
was another guy, Oxhorn. I think he used to be bigger. Then there was a bit of drama that I think
Yeah, yeah. He
happened
did
a couple
Fallout
of
stuff,
years
didn't
ago. Does well any kind of Bethesda stuff. Like he's done it in that. I think he's done it in all of that kind of stuff. But so I was watching him a couple of days ago. He had 700 people watching him, which is
he?
it's still a sizable audience.
Mm.
There was still super chats going through, which he would read all of them. And
Hmm.
then if you didn't get there, like I've seen this a lot as well. If you haven't got to a super chat in enough time, someone will super chat again, say that you've missed the super chat, to then go
Yeah.
back and say it. So that was
Yeah.
weird. But because there was a relatively smaller audience watching it, the chat was helping him play through the game. I think this is a big thing when it comes to sort of gaming
Mm.
streamers. That the audience likes to help and sort of give advice to the
Yeah.
person who's a bit further back. You know, they were sort of helping him with dialogue options and things like that.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so I've seen it in sort of all different ways. Like some people you can't even talk to them without, a monthly subscription to be in this, to be able to
Mm.
type a message, which just gets flat out removed from that chat in about a second because everyone's just blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
bonkers.
Mm. Yeah. Well, there's like the news story, not news story, the kind of story that's continued. Well, I suppose it has hit the news that has persisted for a good couple of months now. That I brought up with you and Carl off air,
Hmm.
which is Colleen Ballinger
Hmm.
and the shit she's been doing with
Hmm.
her fans.
Yeah.
And it's just so like it's something I'm kind of conscious of, considering we're on YouTube
Hmm.
and we don't have that many. We don't have many subs at the moment in the grand scheme. I mean,
Hmm.
we've got a nice little chunk, but like it's and
Thanks,
we love
guys.
you all. Um, but it's sort of like seeing how potentially easy it could be to get sucked into something like that,
Mm,
like a parasocial dynamic with the fan base. And it's like
mm,
I kind of feel like, gosh, you've got to be so careful
mm,
to not give people the wrong idea or be exploitative,
mhm.
like unconsciously exploitative. I mean, I
Yeah,
think like Colleen Ballinger is very consciously exploitative.
yeah.
Um, and if you don't know about that, there's plenty about it
Go have a look.
all over the internet. You'll never look at the ukulele the same way again. But it's it seems so easy to get sucked into it
Mm,
and for it to alter the way you act
mm,
and alter the way you behave. And it's something I'm concerned about
mm.
a little bit because the
In what
responsibility could
ways?
well,
So
it's like
the responsibility of the creator then.
yeah, well, the responsibility could actually. I mean, at the moment, it's not that responsibility is only going to grow. I mean, I don't
Mm,
know if we'll ever get to a point where we're like on a Doctor Disrespect level, let's say. Like
mhm, mhm,
very few YouTubers get anywhere near that.
mhm.
And I don't even know if I particularly want that size of platform. But it just I don't know. It's just it's like a weight
Mm.
about the shoulders that could crush if you're not careful with it.
And it seems to quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's plenty of YouTube drama that happens at some point, and there's no end of, very successful creators that get embroiled in some sort of um issue, legal or otherwise. I guess then does that come down to the type of person that can make it as an astronomically large personality on the internet,
Mm,
and someone who doesn't? Does it, like there's more, like there's that statistic, isn't there, where there's like disproportionately more psychopaths in like CEO roles and
mm,
like positions of power. Like we are run by nutters, be that on a professional level, be that on a governmental level. Like there's a disproportionate amount of really, really bonkers people who are not working in your best interest. They're just working for themselves. So I'd imagine that would filter down that way as well.
mm.
Not to say
Yeah,
that everyone in those places of power, be that YouTube, be that the government, be that in business, are whack jobs. But maybe it's sort of that thing. You don't have to be a psychopath, but it sure does help, sort of thing.
I mean, it would have to, particularly if you're at the head of like a business where you have to
Yeah.
where you have people's livelihoods in your hand. You have, in
Mm,
order to be like as successful as you can be, you have to occasionally downsize and cut stuff, and you have to
mm,
not give a fuck that you have just sliced someone's income cleanly. You just chopped someone in half at the knees, maybe,
mm.
because you don't know what will happen to them. Like they could go to another company, they could land on their feet, they could start their own business, or
Yeah.
they could get unemployment for the rest of their lives
Yeah.
and never recover.
Mm,
And as a CEO, you have to be like, well, they're cutting into my bottom line.
mm,
And if I don't get rid of them, then the company folds and everyone's fired.
mm.
So it's just that you do like how, I mean, it's like generals as well, I suppose. Like
Mhm.
CEOs and I mean, a general, I suppose, dealing with that level of life comes with the
Yeah.
territory, and maybe that weighs on them, or it certainly weighed on them as much as it would, or maybe it didn't at all.
Mm,
Maybe they are just another CEO who
yeah.
just of a different industry.
Mm. Yeah, it's bizarre because then like with all of these as well, even when it comes to business, all of them are financial relationships, aren't they? That have
Hmm.
a big wedge of, or just like a big component of it is money,
Hmm.
you know, especially when it comes to, streamers and things like that. You can only speak to a lot of these people if you pay them some money,
Hmm.
which is, really exactly the same as OnlyFans, except there's less boobies, unless of course you're on Twitch, and then sometimes you'll
Well,
see them on there.
sometimes you will. Sometimes
Sometimes it will just be an accident.
accident. Yeah.
I think the last one I saw, some streamer, she got fucked by her boyfriend on Twitch. She forgot to turn it off. There was no cock. There was no genitals, but just left it on.
Forgot.
Just
Yeah.
left it on, and just immediately after the stream. Actually, I think the stream might have still been on or something like that. 7-day ban, and you're back.
Was that one of the big ones?
No, no, it was
It's just
not one
someone.
of the. Yeah, just some pretty Twitch streamer in South America. Her boyfriend comes home, gives her a good old digging out of the guts, and stream was still on.
Oh boy. Ugh. Well,
Super chat.
super chat. Yeah. Subbed. Yeah. Probably got a few Twitch subs out of that, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? Interesting. There was another thing that I saw. This was a long time ago, but it was one of the large, like large audience female Twitch streamers. One of them. I don't think she'd been in one of the ones that sort of, gets her boobies out or anything like that. But like, I think she would stream like quite a lot, and like her sub count would go up while she was on stream asleep. By like 20, like she'd normally get like 40,000, and it would go up
Mm.
to like 60,000 when she was sleeping.
What, like viewers?
Yeah,
That's very strange.
that's bizarre, isn't it?
I mean, there's potentially like I don't know what to make of that.
Neither do I.
Like there could be a myriad of reasons for that. I'm thinking like somebody who's it could be like ambient noise. That's good faith. That's me being very good
Yeah.
faith.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like rain. It's just
Snore again. Go on.
Snore.
Snore again. Oh.
Turn it up in the noise cancelling earphones.
I love this when she does the ASMR sleeping.
But it could be even sadder. That it could be like somebody who wants to simulate the noise of someone sleeping next to them.
Yeah. I don't even think the mic's going to be next to them, though. I think she's just like clocked off. It'd just be like me just going over there and having a nap. Like the mic's over here. I
Steve,
don't think you can hear anything.
what is anyone getting out of that?
I don't know. But I think some of it's, keep sleeping.
It could be, yeah. It's like
No.
because I'm thinking purely on ASMR, on an
Mhm.
ASMR level. If they're just sleeping and there's no mic anywhere, and the bed is like across the room,
Yeah.
that's that's incredibly low effort.
Yeah. Like she's not even there just being like she's gone to bed.
It's not like the camera is like propped up on the pillow.
Like, yeah.
Put some effort in.
Come on.
Twitch sleep thoughts.
Twitch sleepers. Sleep streamers.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo
But
to low effort.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like a load of relationships, well, as you say, parasocial relationships now, huge monetary component to them.
Yes.
Which can't be good.
No.
It can't be good.
Not. I mean, it is exploitative, isn't it? I mean, it's exploiting the parasocial. Even if it's not a conscious exploitation, it's still happening.
Yeah, I've normally been someone who's just like, just get your bag. This was when the whole like NPC trend was like really kicking off, and people would be sending emojis on. We was looking at this at the same time as the Ballinger thing, weren't we?
Yes.
And this girl was making bank. She was making absolute fucking bank, right? And I'm there just sort of thinking like, oh, get your bag and everything like that. And I was looking through like comments of this, and be like, well, you couldn't say that about like someone just like purely selling fentanyl. Just get your bag, dude. Just get your bag, girl. You're selling fentanyl. Make that bread.
Yeah, or you could say that about like a hitman.
No, like there are lines that we do actually cross in this capitalistic society, but because it isn't seen as directly hurting anyone, then we're all like, oh yeah, that's fine. But like it's not to a point. I mean, I don't know which one is worse, really. I mean, I guess there's more effort put into, you would hope, into other live streams than there are from what the sort of the NPC, generally girl, was. You've got guys doing it as well now, which it all just seems to be about blowjobs now. It seems to be about glizzies.
I saw the. Did you see the glizzy guy?
Yeah, and there's a couple of them, and he's done. I think he's just sort of taking it. I bet he's doing it ironically. You're not. You're not doing it ironically. You're getting paid to simulate sucking cock. All right.
How long are his streams? I have seen a clip of his stream, and it was
hours
of simulating blowjobs.
People do this for
Dressed
hours.
as a hot dog.
They just send him hot dogs, and then he'll just pretend to do glizzies, and then he'll go into glizzy overdrive, and it'll be a very visceral, primal fellatio. I guess I guess it can only come down to intent, can't it?
Yeah,
Like what are
I
these people
suppose.
going into it?
And at the
Do
same
you?
time, like there are people do what they will with their money.
Yeah, because I'm one of those. I'm one of those. Down. I'm one of those down people on the compass. Let us do whatever we want.
Right,
So
yeah,
who who
yeah.
who am I to come in and go, oh, that person making a bag out of being a live streamer and people having to pay to talk to them?
Hmm.
It's not really any of my fucking business, is it?
Well, like
Is
people pay to support the creator at the end of the
Mhm,
day as well. Like a lot of the people, like you get the big live streams, like a lot of like the geek live streams, a lot of kind of the nerd
mhm,
culture live streams,
mhm,
um, make a lot of money off super chats,
mm,
and the best of them take care to read all of them
mhm,
at the very least. And like they'll do like streams where they do a square up where they're like, okay, these are the ones I missed.
mhm.
So we'll, you know,
Yeah.
and then of course they get more super chats in those streams.
Mhm,
So they, yeah, it's, I suppose it depends on, I mean, it's also kind of clear what you're paying for, I suppose, isn't it? In
mhm.
some
And
cases.
this is what I was just thinking. Actually, like pretty much be it a game streamer, be, I'm gonna say it, be it an NPC streamer, basically the same thing. Do what the fuck you want with your money, okay?
Mm,
Because you know what you're paying for,
yeah.
right?
You're
And
paying to
even
see that guy simulate as much
yeah,
fellatio as possible.
yeah, or seeing a guy play Starfield,
Yeah.
it's the same thing, okay? Do what you got to do to have your fun. Pay your. I'd if you would like some unsolicited advice, maybe put those super chats into something else, okay? You'll still have as good a time watching it, not participating. Really, I can attest to that from gorging on on streaming at the
Oh,
moment.
um,
I would even say it's the same for sort of, I guess, up and coming OnlyFans things. Because the only thing that I take umbrage to at this point is that when you get too big, there is no way
and
that
you're
you're
speaking as an
messaging
OnlyFans
everyone.
creator, of course.
I haven't. I'm not yet a creator. I'm an account holder. I still haven't done my application, my approval process, but I will get there one day.
Right.
But when you get to such a level where you're making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions a month on there, there is
Mm.
no way that you're responding to your audience.
Yep. No way
There's
whatsoever.
not. There is not. Right? You have a team behind that. Someone is responding to them, but you're not. This is where
Mm.
it becomes disingenuous, and that's when I take umbrage to it. If there is an OnlyFans model out there showing off her coochie, showing off how she looks in different things, she's sending sexy messages and sexting you late at night, and she's doing it, fucking fair play, girl.
Hmm.
Get that bag for as much as you can, okay? And the
Yep.
simps on there, spend your super chats on something else.
You
If
care.
you want to listen to
She
me.
she cares enough about her simps to at least reply to them.
To respond and feign interest, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But once it comes down to a team and you're, paying a VA to do it,
Yes.
then
Or you've got Chat
that's
GPT to do it.
yeah. Then no bueno. This is this
Yeah.
is this is a scam at that point.
Well, it's that level, isn't it, on YouTube where a creator will look and there's so many comments that they just won't reply to them,
Hmm.
or they'll reply to a couple, but not all of them.
Hmm.
And that's not. I don't think that's that high a level.
Hmm.
I feel in the grand scheme, I feel like maybe you could get to
How many comments could you
maybe
do in a week, Matt?
in a week.
What's your limit? What's your limit? You say you put out one video a week. What's the limit of messages you're going to hit?
Um, well, this is the thing because you could end up sparking off like a whole conversation in a comment thread. So it's how many hours are there in a day? I mean, there's not enough.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when you're putting out stuff as well, and
Yeah. When you have a when I mean, if it's not your full time gig,
mm,
and for most people it isn't, even for people with like 100,000 subs or something like that, it probably isn't their full-time gig.
Yeah.
You know, it would be tricky because you can't respond to comments and make the next video, or so like in my case, I can't respond to comments. I mean, I manage to on our videos because we don't get that many, but I can't respond to comments and work for X number of hours a day and find time to write and potentially edit a video and get some exercise, hopefully, and eat and sleep and just generally do other stuff, do social things. Like how much time does that leave in a day? Like an hour, maybe?
Yeah.
Do I want to decompress in that hour, or do I want to respond to comments?
Yeah.
Well, if I can maybe respond to some comments in that hour. But how many? And am I going to respond to ones that, and then you're going to get the comments that aren't so nice. You're going to get comments that are lovely going, hey, you're great. And you're going to get some like, fuck you, dude.
And then I'll be like, fuck you, suck my dick. And then it'll be brought up 10 years later when we're not allowed to say suck my dick anymore. Oh no. I was angry.
Lee, that phrase is very phallocentric, and we've banned phallocentric language. So you're going to need to apologize.
At that point, I'm going to tell everyone to suck my dick and go off into the woods.
At that point, you'll become the Glizzy Man, and you'll go off into.
I will become the Glizzy Man. This is what happened to him. This was his origin story.
He's actually from the future, and he came back.
Yeah, he's like, getting I can finally do blowjob jokes again.
He's getting them all in now before the great blowjob apocalypse of 2027.
Yeah, the fallacia apocalypse.
Fallacia apocalypse. Nice.
It's origin story. My goodness.
I mean, I don't think that's going anywhere. Hopefully, I mean, touch wood. I can touch so much wood around here.
But the Glizzy Man, you hope the Glizzy Man's not going anywhere.
No, I hope that blowjob jokes aren't going anywhere.
Oh, me too. Any kind of oral sex joke is fine in my book.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we'll finish there. We shall finish there. So, Lee, where can people find you and find your bits and pieces?
My bits and pieces are not yet on OnlyFans, but may one day be. No, they probably won't be. I won't be putting my bits and pieces up there. I might put some creative stuff up there and cool shit like that. That's onlyfans.com/Lee Drew Simmons. Don't know even if you can subscribe to me on there yet. One day you'll be able to. And then I think everywhere else is at Lee Drew Simmons as well.
Fantastic.
Mostly Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. I don't really post that much there anymore either.
Yeah.
I live in the DMs. Of my audience.
Well, you can
I think is actually talking about just before we sort of finish talking about parasocial relationships, having that kind of relationship with my audience is different because I don't have a VA behind it, you know, with the sort of clients, ex-clients, prospective clients, or all of that. Like I largely do a lot of my work in instant messaging apps and things like that. There was a guy that reached out for something completely unrelated yesterday. We had a bit of a talk as well, and then he wanted to look at some of my work. But that was just me in the DMs, really, just responding to messages. That's where you'll find me, in my messages.
Lee will slide into your DMs, where you can find
a little bit more personal.
Yeah, where you can find me. Hang on,
please do.
The internet connection is unstable. Okay, you can find me at.
There you are. You're back.
I'm back. You can find me obviously on YouTube here at the Alchemy Lab. I don't know why I'm saying that because you're here. You can find me also at Drunk Wordsmith on YouTube, where lots of strange, misshapen stuff gets posted. You can find the Kyrgyzstan travelogue and other such delights on mattwaterhouse.substack.com, You can find my novels on Amazon. Check out Out of the Ashes, the first in the Four Guardians series, and if you like that one, then read the next one. And yeah,
And then read the next one.
And then read the next
and then
one.
the next one.
And then read them all. Why not? I don't know if there will be DMs if you do read them, but you know, you never know. All right. And also on Minds at Matt Waterhouse Author. And on Instagram at Matt Waterhouse Author. And I think on Facebook as well at Matt Waterhouse Author. But without further ado, it's been lovely. We'll be back with more such things. I think we're overdue a Streets of Mir. Let's get one of them going, I think. And yeah, I'll see you guys. Again. Let's get going. I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.